everybody. Jeevantika Lingalwar, and today I'm going to be talking about the unplanned journey, my unplanned journey of a woman in tech. But before I go to the weirdest life story of mine, how many of you here have been facing an unplanned twist and turn in your life? I love that. Well, I think some way or the other, we are all going through an unplanned journey. We've thought something like, for me, I answered Wendy's question. I wanted to be a singer. So let me go a little bit back. So I come from India, originally from India, and I came to Ireland in 2018 to do my master's in cloud computing. Initially, when I was back in India, so my father has a background in film industry. He worked there for 8 years back in India. And that fascinated me. You could say that I got this from my father. He's very talented. He loves to mimic. He can sing. He can dance. He loves doing all of that. He actually ran from his house as well to do his filming thing, right? And I think I got that from my dad, that I always wanted to be a singer. I used to sing with my dad. We used to sit. And I used to tell my dad, you know what? Do something. You have a background in film industry. You have some connections. Can you not talk to somebody and make me a singer, probably a background singer? And my dad was like, so we had lots of cousins in the family, and he was like, you know, that industry is not for us. It's too much struggle, and you can't do too much struggle. And I was like, but why? Let me go. You have connections. Use your connections. Use the power. And my mom was into politics a little bit. So I was like, what are you guys doing? Do something for me. And they were like, no, you're going to do engineering, because everybody in this family is doing engineering. I was like, okay. What about, I wanted to be an astronaut. What about astronaut thing? That at least do that. And then he was like, you know what? Let's go for engineering. That's the path. You have a small brother. He's also going to go for engineering. So be a leader, be a role model. It's like, okay, fine, let's do engineering. But you know what? I didn't leave my singing passion. I ended up becoming a bathroom singer. And I sing pretty well, by the way. So I'm not that bad. But this is how my journey started. It's a very long story. I ended up in the tech industry, starting to love it. And my life so far has been a journey of an unplanned twists and turns, many challenges, which has led me to here. And I wanted to say a huge thanks to my mom today, because she was the one who pushed me to go through all these challenges, to embrace the unplanned journey in my life. I never thought that I will found something like International Women in Tech. Initially, when I came for my master's, like many other international students, I did struggle a little bit. I was doing my part-time job while also doing my master's, and it got quite difficult to understand what I want to do next. Even at that point of my life, I was like, what's next? Okay, I did my master's, but what's next? Will I get a job, or am I going to be ending up doing a part-time job? How it's going to work out? I had huge loans back in India. And whilst doing my part-time job, I understood the power of connection, the power of network, because I think I would give a credit to my part-time job as well. So I was doing a part-time job as security event stewardess. And I did attended 5 big concerts for free. And I loved it. I was like, that was the most toughest job as well, because I had to stand for 20 hours. But at the same time, it was good. I enjoyed my life in there. And I met a lot of people. I met a lot of Irish people. I made good connections, more international people, more international exposure. And I thought that this is the best time I'm having. But on the other hand, this is all on the side. There was nothing more that I was thinking that probably will come in my career, because I had no plans in my life. And whilst doing all of that, I tried to look for mentors. I tried to look for coach, guides who can actually guide me where my career lands. But everybody where I went to, professionals, they were asking me 250 euros for a cup of coffee. Let's sit, let's talk, let's have a chat, 30 minutes, cup of coffee, and we'll talk about you. I was like, $250, 250 euros. I am standing 20 hours to earn that 250 euros, and I'm not going to pay that as a student. So I thought maybe I can use the power of LinkedIn, and that's when I opened LinkedIn, started connecting with people. And I thought maybe let me explore and probably start my own group called Women in Tech Dublin. That's what I started with. slowly realizing that I do have people coming in, texting me, hey, I like the group, but I am not Irish. Can I join it? I was like, I never planned this for specific, like just for Irish women or just for women who are based in Ireland. I want this to be international. And that's where the word International Women in Tech came from. From 10 people that day, we are now 7,000 and it's growing. And I am amused to see how it is growing. Slowly realized that the power of connection, the power of mentorship is becoming huge and it is much needed. I could see myself in front, whoever is sitting in front talking to him, I could see myself 2 years ago there. Because I was sometime that person who was looking for help and who was financially constrained, who has a restriction financially, who has a burden and who cannot afford to get a support, professional support. That is when the idea of free came for all, right? Because I wanted people to come, to talk, to exchange ideas, to seek help. International Women in Tech is not a business for me, it's a personal journey. And that is why I never charge anybody. There are no financial aspects to it. In the future as well, I do not plan to make it a business because it is not a business. It's just a social aspect that I am doing, supporting people, and I've connected with so many people. That's when Coffee Chat with Jeevantika started, where I realized the power of mentorship. I thought people are texting me on LinkedIn, students are texting me on LinkedIn saying, hey, you know what, I live here. I'm planning to do my master's. I'm planning to do this in Ireland. Can you help? Can you support? Give some guidance. I started Coffee Chat with Jeevantika, a 30 minutes free platform for people to connect, book some time with me, and let's talk. And I named it Discussing the Possibilities. Sometimes people used to just book calls with me just to say hi. I just wanted to network. I just wanted to know what you're doing. And I just found out it to be so useful. That Coffee Chat with Jeevantika, in 3 months, I took 300 calls. It was exhausting for me. The calls were not just from Ireland. The calls were not just from India, from all the time zones that we can imagine. I had a call from Japan one time, and I was like, what time zone is this? I literally started calculating how am I going to do this? I had called from the States, from United States, and many more countries. But then I had to reduce that because I just felt, I just realized and remembered the thought that whenever you're trying to help others, wear your oxygen mask first and then help others. I was like, okay, I need to do that. And then it's still going. By the way, Coffee Chat with Jeevantika is still amazing. I met so many people, and I believed everybody taught me something. I learned from each and every person. I learned from each and every experience. And that is how International Women in Tech community grew so much. It's still growing. We've won a lot of awards for community awards. International Women in Tech has been represented in many of the international countries as well. We have partnered with a lot of people. And then I've heard both the ladies speaking about the unplanned events. I was thinking that probably I used the word unplanned a lot, and I thought maybe I'll write a book and I'll name it The Unplanned Journey. Instead, ended up creating a podcast called The Unplanned Journey. I still have the idea of writing a book, but probably I need to find a new name now. But the Unplanned Journey podcast, the idea behind it, well, today I could have actually shared story of a lot of successful women. We have so many amazing leaders out there. We know the success behind it. We don't know the struggle that went through. I thought, I have gone through this. I know the challenges that I faced. I know the failures that I had. So it's worth sharing that, because maybe my failures, my struggle would help somebody to, overcome their challenges. That's why I chose the Unplanned Journey as one of my topic today. The idea behind Unplanned Journey podcast is not just to interview top leaders, successful people, but we capture common voices like me. We talk to common people. We talk about challenges. We talk about struggles. We talk about failures. I start with sharing my failures, because not every time I think we are comfortable talking about failures. We think that people might judge, but I think that is what is the strongest point one could have. My story of success is because of my failures. And I'm not saying, again, fail on purpose. Don't do that for sure. But what I'm saying is find an opportunity in those failures. I saw a role of a CTO. I met so many people. I saw the power of connection. When I was 25, I got a role of CTO. That was the biggest achievement for me, and that was the biggest challenge that I had to face, because I was leading a team where there were 20 people who had a lot of experience in their life, a lot of jobs they had done. And I was like, how am I going to do it? This is not something I am prepared for. This is an unplanned, unforeseen event that is happening in my life, the journey of serendipity. I never thought that it's going to turn the best for me. So I was a little bit low in confidence, but then I had a mentor. And again, as I keep saying this, the power of mentorship, because I've seen it. If I didn't had a mentor in my life, I wouldn't have been here today standing in front of you, because he helped me navigate through that unexpected path. He helped me bring that confidence out that you can do it. Sometimes the inner self knows. I knew it somewhere in my inner self that I can do it, but I needed somebody to tell me, you can actually do it. And once I got that in my ears, like, okay, you know what, I can do it, because somebody else told me that. And that's why I always encourage to have a mentor in your life. You can have multiple mentors, because not everybody is expert in every situation, but you need multiple mentors, as we'll talk about your personal life, professional challenges, and whatever you're going through. And I have so many of them. I think I'm privileged to have. And as I mentioned, one of them is my mom. Moms are something that, it's a miracle. My mom is not in the tech industry. She's not into education as well. But somehow she knows answers to everything. So whenever I have some issues, I'm going to give her a call, like, Mom, what am I going to do? And there's a solution to it. It's like, how? Like, how? But again, openness to new experience. If I wouldn't have taken that opportunity, I don't think that would have helped me right now for whatever I am leading throughout. That one role gave me a confidence to start another. That one role gave me a confidence to speak to another as well, and to connect with different people. This job, my first job in Ireland, I landed whilst I was in Tesco. I was doing a grocery shopping. Somebody called me through LinkedIn profile, and they gave me a ring, and I was just roaming around looking for onions. But instead, this man called me, and he's like, hi, Jeevantika, I saw your profile. We might have a role for you. I was circling the Tesco for 2 hours. I got a job in those 2 hours. I forgot that I had to buy onion. Instead, I bought milk and came back. And I was so happy. I told my roommates, I got a job. They were like, but you went for onion. When did you get this interview done? But openness to new experience, that has changed, empowered, and transformed me. And I think whenever I'm talking to people, this is what has been inspiring. This is what has been bringing a change in their life. I have seen this in a lot of people when they say meeting new people, networking with people, communicating. That has been the key for them as well. Also, to overcome the problem of confidence when we talk about imposter syndrome, which is on its own a big topic. So again, I said that International Women in Tech, we support women in tech, but this is not just a community for women. We have people from all the genders who have been a big ally for the community, who have been supporting by partnership, collaborating, and everything. So next thing is taking action. Thinking is a different thing. Implementing is what we need. I do have a lot of intentions in my life, but what am I taking? What steps am I taking to implement it? That is more important. I would leave you with the thought, quote by Michelle Obama, which is very close to my heart, and which I find this is something I do in my day-to-day life. Success isn't about how much money you make, it's about the difference that you make in people's life. And that's what a true leader is. And this is something somebody as well told me. Leaders, always a successful leader when they make another a successful leader. And that's pretty much who I am. Before I go, one thought that I always share with everybody, and this is what I live with: I don't fear losing, I fear not trying. So I think trying is the success, failure is the stepping stone. So thank you so much for listening to me today.